Let's see. I mean, you're waiting for me. Come on. Oh, it loves to do that. I love to do that, don't I? Hey, everybody. I'm awesome. I always get this set up just right. It's like super professional. Because that's what we do here at Big Drum Bear. Good to see everybody. All right, Shade's here. Yeah, thanks. It's the lounge here at the hotel where people usually have breakfast, stuff like that. Oh, that's a little creepy. I want to see what happens when I turn the phone around to focus on that. This is gonna be fun. Here we go. Infinite. It's all delayed. That's funny. That's crazy. Yep. That's fun. It's broken. Oh, goodness. All right. Enough of that tomfoolery. I don't know Tom, but I'm sure he's pretty foolish. Hey, Andrew Kelly, thanks for joining us. Let's see. We gotta fix you, Andrew. Welcome to Wrench Life. Everybody here gets a wrench until it gets crazy. When it gets crazy, I reserve the right to remove your wrench. I'll have a wrench in it if it needs to happen. But hopefully that isn't the case. I see Andrew, I see Shade, I see Yukon, I see Mayor, I see, who else we got? That seems like who we got. Harold was here earlier, but I don't know what happened to him. He might be out. But either way, it's all good. I'm glad you guys came to hang out tonight. Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've been able to get a good stream up. Internet's always a pain in the sphincter over here. Alaska has really big wide open spaces that are not always internet friendly, at least not to Sprint. You know, nothing against Sprint. I mean, I've enjoyed them. They've been good providers for me. What's happening? Oh, don't spiral. That's not good. Hang on. Let me check the camera. Yeah, it sure has. Well, the stream seems like it's going fine on the camera. It's probably just my computer. That's just my computer doing that jazz. There we see. It's all good. It's all right. So we're happy. All right, I'm gonna bring this chat out so I can read that separate. And then I'm not distracted by my own image. I don't want to become too vain. One vein might be all right. Let's see. I know what Romper Room is, Shade. Do I know it like I watched it? No, but my mom did. My mom, I love her to death. She's so funny. She recounted this to me a number of times. She's one of 5 children. I think she's the second of 5 children, I should say. She used to watch Romper Room a whole bunch when she was a kid. She would write in constantly. She'd constantly writing letters to read, to get them to read her letter on Romper Room. And years and years went by, she'd done this, and they never read her letters. But then one day, they read her older brother's letter that he sent sometime in the past. And he didn't like Romper Room by that point. He wasn't a big fan. It's like, how did my older brother get Romper Room? You know, not me. But, you know, I've had moments like that. I've had moments where I'm like, yeah, I was really hoping for such and such to go down, and it didn't. You know, and that stinks. And Mom, if you're watching, which you're not today, but I'm sure you could see it in some other time. I love you. I just say that to suggest that I don't have near the Romper Room experience, but I'm well acquainted with understanding the Romper Room phenomenon thanks to growing up with Mom and her horrendous experience of being neglected by Romper Room. And really, this is it's sort of a shaming to Romper Room, because how dare they not recognize my mother? You know, that's totally inappropriate, and they need to get that right. It's a little difficult since the show's been on for decades, but still. Is there a link to Hangouts? What, here in my descriptions for videos? I don't have a Hangouts link on here, no. But, oh, because I'm nowhere near my microphone. Gotta love that. All right, let's figure this out. I've heard this before. Yeah, it's not you guys, it's me. I'm special with the technology. So we're gonna make this work. Who can hear me now? Anybody can that's a little scary. Here we go. All right. All right, let's see here. Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. Okay, cool. So just tweaking this a little bit so that people can hear me. What I'm eventually going to do is run these largely from, excuse me, from the MacBook, and then I'll have a microphone plugged in and you can hear me better that way too. Yeah, I gotta say, it's not my favorite shot, but we'll work with it. I look more fatty from this angle. But I think the solution to that is not to find the perfect camera angle, it's to just not be a fatty. So I'll continue to work on that. Yeah, this is the foyer. I was showing everybody a minute ago, and you might have missed it, UConn. So this is like the foyer area where we come down for breakfast. It's pretty nice. Yeah, probably not so much, you know. I have a forestry problem nasally, and I have to deal with that daily. So I don't want to, you know, bring you into having to witness the forestry issues any more than you have to. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm glad there's no bats. I'm a fan of being batless. You know, I think most of us are. I had one day where I thought I was watching the stream back a little bit. I'm like constantly going like this with my nose, thinking that I've got a bat going on, and it was just psychosomatic. Is that the term? No, it was just like it was in my head. Whatever. That's psychosomatic, right? Psychosomatic bat in the cave. It was phantom bat. That's what I'm thinking. Like when you have a limb removed and you feel like it's still there, except I thought I had a bat in the cave, but it wasn't there. Yeah, I'm off my base. We are TDY up here. We're getting some training going on. I like talk to people for a living, you know, well, for military living. When I worked security full time for years at my local base, I like to engage with people. So now I'm chatty chaplain assistant, not just at the gate, but everywhere. I'm everywhere. Yeah, we go around. We try to take care of troops. You know, make sure that they're able to deal with stuff that life throws at them. You know, it's again, it's like I'm doing the stuff that Peterson has been articulating here, and other people too. But that's why I keep referring back to Doc Peterson so much, some JBP stuff. It's because he's saying it straight up. It's like most of life for most of people throughout most of history has been suffering. Try to reduce it. try to make it less. But that's the message of the Bible. That's been the message there the whole time too. There's a lot of suffering that goes around, and we bring a lot of it on ourselves. Sometimes it's a natural consequence of dumb stuff that we do. Or dumb stuff that other people do to us, you know, because a lot of times people don't consider the consequences of their own actions as they apply to lots of other people. They can't see how what they do has a much greater reach than they'd like to admit, because then they're accountable, right? They'd have to be accountable if they're going to be honest. But if you like to think that your actions are isolated and, you know, you can just sort of do what you want, then you can think that you're not really accountable. And accountability can kind of suck, you know, because then you got to do stuff that you may not want to do. And at the outset, that's true. But the more that you do what you ought, the better. The more I think your will tends to align with that, because you begin to see how it positively impacts you and other people around you. Like, for example, if you eat unhealthily, if you don't exercise, that can be rather nice. And if you have somebody else tell you need to stop eating crap, you need to start like running and doing push-ups and pull-ups or kettlebell swings, right? Yes, well spoken, man. Getting over yourself. Um, someone tells you that. Someone tells you got to do these things. You're like, get the fudge out of my face. You know, what the heck are you talking about? Like, you won't tell me. And even still, there's times where I think it's appropriate. You do have to set boundaries with people when they don't have any business trying to hold you accountable. It's not their place, right? Um, but there's tactful ways, there's wise ways about going about that. And sometimes the most tactful way is to be blunt as a spoon, because some people don't get the message otherwise. Um, Crowder confronts is a great thing. You know, those people that he's confronting are not necessarily telling him what to do, but they kind of, I guess they kind of are. They're telling him, you need to do what we think you should do, otherwise we need to firebomb your car and your people. And so when he's saying, that's clearly bad, that's clearly wrong, it's illegal. I'm calling myself fat, Shade, because it's true. I've got no imaginations otherwise. But at any as long as we can be honest, that's where we can start from. If you're like, I'm ready for Mr. Universe contest, you know, when I'm 225 pounds. Yes, I have. I'm awesome. Yes. 3 chins. So, if someone's telling you, yeah, you need to do this stuff, you need to get in shape, and they do have a business telling you, because there's someone who cares about you, they're doing it in a way that's right, even if it's someone that's being a jerk about it, but they're telling you the truth, you know. If you can swallow your pride long enough to think about what they're saying and say, yeah, I probably need to do that, you're probably right. You don't even have to lose face with them. You don't have to worry about that, because now you've had an issue illuminated to you that's going to benefit you to know about. If you don't have attention to it, then you're going to be hurt. So that person just stopped you from getting hit by the bus of your own fatness. They pulled you out of the fat street, so to speak. You can choose to yank away from them and stay right in the fat street, but you're going to get hit by that cholesterol bus or that whatever obesity bus or something else, a heart condition bus. So that's not good, you know. So being willing to evaluate yourself and what other people might have to tell you about your behavior and your perceptions of things is probably a good thing. It has been in my experience. I'm trying to remember how I got on that. Maybe just mention that I was a fatty. Oh, I just been Survivor in high school. Mayor, that's hilarious, man. SS Mayor. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I could see a skit coming out of that. Somebody should suggest that to Owen, like, you know, fat people going to fat camp. Like maybe back when he was a heavier dude, maybe he can. I'm sure he talks about that some. And if he had a bit where it was like, what if like you know, there was the skinny people like Mayor, for example, who look like a Holocaust survivor. You know, it's like the Holocaust survivor diet or something like that. I don't know. That could be a thing. Straight out of Germany. I think somebody did pass me that. I think it was my uncle. My Uncle Dan. He's so funny, and he'll throw me, you know, different memes and other stuff. And I won't go into detail because I don't want to out him too much. It's mostly between the two of us, but some of them are just priceless, and it's that kind of humor. It's a little dark, you know. It's kind of messed up, but I love it. You know, it's like he's willing to go those places, and we just laugh our heads off about the most ridiculous stuff. So at any rate, why'd y'all come here today? Well, the title I brought up for today's discussion a little bit, the things I wanted to share with you, it's about the weekend that I just had. I might I be able to pull up some pictures? I don't even know if they all transferred. Let me even take a look. So I'm still not able to do the like the one button studio that Dom recommended. Maybe it's because my laptop's too old. Maybe I don't have all the equipment that I need to make it work, and maybe I need to buy something or pay for something to make things work where I can just stream from the laptop and then switch over to another screen and show you like a video clip or something like that, or pictures like Owen does in his streams. I know Dom's done it too. But for the time being, I'm going to pull it El Cheapo method and probably just pull the thing up on my laptop screen and point the phone at that if I can, which maybe I can't. We'll see. Yeah, I might not have transferred that, but we'll figure a thing out. We'll make it happen. Saw some amazing stuff this weekend. So Chap and Dan and I, we went on a trip down to Valdez, Alaska, toward the southern part, and just outside of there, about a half hour or so, is a spot called Worthington Glacier, and we climbed up on this glacier. I've shown some of the pics and Hangout a little bit, and it's unbelievable. And I have a video coming of all these different video clips that I made. I'm struggling to get my video editing stuff to work, but I need to work harder. I just need to put more effort into it, and I'm not. I'll be honest. I've been, otherwise occupied with military duty, but also getting my butt kicked by the land of the rising sun here. That's no joke. Adjusting to that sleep pattern has been no joke. And I'm sure you guys are saying stuff. I'm not seeing the chat for the moment because I'm trying to pull up some pictures for y'all. But I will be back to it shortly. I just wanted to pull up a few of these things that are unbelievably amazing. So let's see here. Here is, hang on just a second. I got an idea. I know what I'll do. Check it. Can I do that? Yeah, I can. I can totally do that. Haha. Okay, now, can anybody hear me right now? That's an important question because I just turned some sort of volume down. And I don't know if that was a volume that allows you guys to hear me or not. Hey, Debbie. What's happening? Thanks for popping in. Didn't even see you until just now. Very cool. Okay, everybody hears me. Good deal. That's what I was hoping for. All right, so I'm going to pop away from the chat for a minute, and I want to share with you some stuff I got going on her. We went out to this Worthington Glacier place, and it was unbelievable. This won't even halfway do it justice, but it'll give you an idea of just what we were up to. So we're driving in to the area, and this is our, well, okay, so this is what we see. You know what? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna put this device. Just do it. I want you to open the photo. Well, okay. So we're gonna have to do this instead, which is fine. It's just the way it goes. We'll do this, and we'll be talking for a minute until we get this to cooperate the cheapo way. So we got to this glacier at like 10 o'clock Alaska time on Friday night, and there's this trail. It's one of the most precarious trails I've ever seen in my life to climb up there. Now, see, I'm getting that Phantom Bat in the Cave thing going on. It's not there, but it feels like it. One of the most precarious trails I've ever gone on, and it was so incredible. It was a chore and a half just getting up the trail, but once we did, it was worth every minute, every stinking minute, and you're gonna see why here in a moment, because you need to. It's just a requirement. You're not allowed to be on this stream and not see this, period. So anybody who's not prepared to see the amazingness, thanks for coming, but I know I'm just getting ridiculous because it's kind of funny to me. I amuse myself more than anything, that's most of my humor, is to make myself laugh. Don't know that that's necessarily the mark of a good comedian, but then I never said I was trying to be one. I was just trying to be a goof. Yeah, that video you'll never hear a thing, but I'll still pull it up because it's flipping amazing. Let's see. So what I'm doing right now is choosing the photos I want to show you, and then I have to import them from my phone to my computer while we're chatting here. That's just the nature of le beast. Some ridiculous skies. We also we went to do this Valdez thing, this Solzhenitsyn deal, and yeah, I think that'll do. That'll be plenty to get the idea across. I also want to do that to give you guys a rough idea of what's going on here. Dink and dink, dink, dink. That's the sound effects I make. Okay, import those, just those. Perfect. All right, so back to the this stuff, like the important stuff here. There we are. Hey, kill switch is here. That's also awesome. It's good to have people. I hope you guys enjoyed the concert the other night. I saw you in Boulder hanging out there. That's flipping cool. Red Rocks is a neat place. I drove by that when I was in Colorado. I didn't get to stop, but definitely want to check that out sometime in the future, more than just from far away. Well, okay, that's fine. Don't load that file and do everything else. We could not load such and such a file. That's fine. I'll just take what I can get. It's probably one of them panoramic shots that I wanted to show you. But sometimes my computer doesn't like them, which doesn't make sense because it's an iPhone and a MacBook. Go figure, right? At any rate, so video is in the chat, yes. From the concert, gonna definitely check that out later on. That'd be cool. Definitely got to see that. Oh, no doubt. I would love Red Rocks for sure. So many cool bands played out there that I've seen on different videos, and it's just an amazing amphitheater. It's huge. All right, so here's a little bit of what we saw coming into the year. This is how this whole journey started. We began. I'm gonna go around like this. This was our introduction. This is the mountain on which the glacier sat. Well, I don't have aliens on the screen there. Yeah, that's the glacier mountain as we were driving up. So, and then this was some of the river along the way to get there. We're still driving along the way. You can totally see me here. Let's see if I shift to the side and not get so much reflection, because this cheapo method of making this work is so ridiculous. Yeah, it's insanely expansive out there. So getting a little closer, this is actually up there as we're hiking up the trail. Oh, that would be cool. Red Rocks next year. Must be real cool, that concert. All right, so yeah, this is getting closer to the glacier trail that we're getting on. More shots as we're actually going up the trail. We're actually on the trail, up in the clouds. Looking down at this river, or the stream, river, lake thing. And this is all water melted off of a glacier. That's all that is. And we're just looking at that in the valley. Again, now we're up, high up, right to the highest point we could climb to, where we're looking at the glacier ice. We're not close enough to touch it, but we're as close as we can possibly get. I'm gonna turn the brightness up so you can actually see. Ooh, yes, guitar hunting. That's a great idea. All right, so here's a quick video clip. I don't know whether you'll hear it or not, but we're gonna try.
We've come about as far as we're gonna go here. And I gotta tell you, I'm amazed. It's plenty chilly up here. And yet, we're being inundated by bugs. Mosquitoes, I was trying to rub it off my hand there. They're all up in my business. This is amazing. You know, but for this, oh, I'd say it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it, all right. That's worth it. Thank you, Lord.
Let's see here. And that's after, where's this shot from? Yeah, this is like the furthest point up that we went to. No, I take that back. This is on our way back down the hill. This is a little further back. Like the furthest point was way up in here where we went. And then the idea was that there's a trail going right along this ridge line. But the possibility of us falling to our deaths was greatly increased. So we said, no, we don't have like climbing gear and stuff like that, so we're gonna pass. Thanks. We didn't do that. Again, more of the glacier. That's probably my favorite picture of all of these. It's just, I caught an amazing sunset. And keep in mind, when I took this picture, photos, get info, where is it? No, I want photos about, no. Does it have that? Image. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, I thought maybe there was a timestamp somewhere in this. I have to figure out what that's at. Basically, it was, yeah, it was around 11 p.m. You're absolutely right. It's almost exactly what time it was. Yeah, it's so crazy, because we got there around 9:30, 10, and this was toward the end of that, so. But yeah, the whole sky just looked incredible the whole way around. Try it back up, get it. There you go. That's a little bit, you can see more of the color. It's not as black. Again, this is turning from this picture. We're looking a little further to our left. We're going over left now. Just imagine that you're rotating left. Rotating a little more left, and now we're seeing mountains that were behind us, just wreathed in clouds. And as we're heading back down the mountain, I had a little bit to say. All right, so check it out. We came from up that hill, climbing up that ridge line, that skinny little ridge line, that margin for error next to 0, right? We're gonna be going back down the way we came. Yeah, that was a very calculated turn there, almost Ted Cruz calculated right there. We're gonna be going down that way, where Dan's at down there. Unreal. All for the sake of beholding this beauty. All right. Yeah, that's the wind just going crazy up there. Yeah, there's a creek going on the other side. It's just runoff from the glaciers at the top. You can hear it, or if the wind overpowers. Flat Earth. There is so much beauty to behold in this world. Find a way to see as much of it as you can. So, I was just blown away by how incredible this was. Yeah, and this is us still coming down the mountain. You can see the clouds like getting thicker by this point. It's straight up fog, you know, just too dense. And so I didn't take a whole bunch of other shots that night. Now the next morning after we slept, we decided to go back. And on our way back over, we didn't see this in the dark because it was just so thick and fog once we were done. It was almost like it was nighttime, like it was after midnight. Oh, you guys are getting Circle of Death? I can't even see it. Like, I'm not getting it on my end. I'm sorry. Maybe you can watch back later. It should give you this whole thing. I hope you get back in here and see some of this, because this waterfall picture is amazing. You're not getting it? Okay, good. Good deal. All right, well, people can get the replay after this is over and they can see more. But there's a bunch of these that we saw on our way back over that we just couldn't see on the night before. So here's in the morning, Saturday morning, and we're at the parking area of Worthington Glacier. Now, there's a section of glacier coming down here, right? And that's where we hiked up toward, way up on the edge here, and looked over from the side, just right up this way. But over on the other side of this section of rock, there's another area of glacier ice coming down the side and creating streams. Yeah, you're getting Wojcicki'd. Whoever's having that problem is getting Wojcicki'd. That's what's going on. Okay, cool, Yukon. That's a good deal. Yeah, I'm sorry that you got Wojcicki'd. That's never cool. It's digital assault right there. Social media assault on you with reduced speeds since we're bears. I'm sure that has something to do with it. So this is up in the glacier area. Like we found another trail that could get right up close and personal with the actual glacier. And Dan actually went up there and touched it. I should be saying, sir, he did that, my chaplain. So this is a wider shot of that. And all of this stuff melts and there's runoff coming from up here. And this makes this huge, this is a rushing river. This is like a rapids river. That's a wall of ice right here, right? This is glacier. All of this is glacier, and further up there too. This is the river of melting glacier water. It was just going full speed. And I think I have a video of it. I don't know. I had one. Thought I brought it up, or maybe it didn't come through. What is that from? Oh, that's another location entirely. This is from Denali. See, we did the glacier stuff, right? And I didn't bring all those pictures in yet from Denali, or from the rest of the glacier trip. But essentially, we climbed up in here. We actually got to touch the glacier, but it was so cool. I've got to find the rest of it. And what I'm going to do is put together a montage of all this stuff with music as the backdrop. That's been the big problem so far, is getting the music to actually cooperate. It doesn't want to let me get access to the music files that I want to use to make it pretty. So I might just do it sans music. We'll see. But I'm going to get this stuff up. And I got some other cool stuff I'm going to have to share. Some experiences I got in the last couple weeks here. So yeah, later on we drove after we left the glacier and headed up to Denali National Park, and it's incredibly huge and beautiful. And you can see these giant streams that are running through there. Hey Andrew, welcome. Let's see, it was either you or it was Andrew J that bought a shirt today, and I wanted to say thank you to either one of you. I know it was an Andrew. I'm pretty sure it was Andrew J, but it might have been you, Andrew Kelly. So whichever Andrew bought a shirt from me, I appreciate that. Very, very thankful for that. By the way, just as a side note, again, this is not a plea for all of you guys to buy it per se. If you want to, great. Thank you, but that's not the biggest deal. It's not something everybody can do, so I totally get that. It's like not everybody's going to super chat Owen either. The most important thing you could do is go in the description of this video or any of the videos in the last couple weeks that I've made, where I have a link to the bonfire.com /make-drumming-great-again, and share that like crazy every place on social media you can, and say, this guy has a great stream, you should check it out and support it. Pick up a t-shirt, and you can impress, troll, or confuse your friends, because they won't know whether I'm supporting Trump or whether I'm trolling the Trump logo or the Trump slogan, or whether I'm just, bizarre. The latter's probably true. So yeah, $20, a pretty decent deal for a shirt. I only get like 25% of that about. And that's going to go straight into making this stream a better thing, where I can maybe get like some software where I can like share stuff on the screen and it's not turning my phone back and forth. It'd be pretty funny. Plus, I'd love to do more location shots. Like I want to take the drum set out and have a few different GoPros on it and live stream multiple cameras at the same time on different locations along the Illinois River, go up to Wisconsin and do some streams up there. Have like a Wi-Fi hotspot where I can do this streaming from anywhere, and I don't have to worry about hotel Wi-Fi, whether it works or not. At any rate, share the link with your friends. Thebonfire.com /make-drumming-great-again. Share that link like crazy, folks, and I'm thankful for it. You guys are wonderful. I appreciate you guys being here. You are great bears and great supporters. So then, again, this is Denali, like I said. Denali National Park, and Mount McKinley, or Mount Denali as it was originally called. Debbie, thank you. That's very sweet. And again, Shade, you know it. All right, more Denali. More insanity of mountains. It's just what you see everywhere up here. Everything is mountains up here. It's just mountains and mountains, and hey, more mountains. By the way, somewhere, oh, hey, come back. Let's see. Somewhere out beyond this hill, in this region out here, I'm getting that funky do stuff. Somewhere up over this way, behind the clouds, is Mount McKinley. You can't see it from this angle, but we were driving in from the south. It's actually more over here at this end. And I haven't uploaded that picture yet, but that's what these things look like. And it's like, that's the constant drive, is just more and more insanely amazing and beautiful stuff. Like, this isn't touched up, this isn't digitized, this is all legit. A lone Eskimo. Okay, see that mountain right there? That's not even the biggest one. It's not even the biggest ones, right? Like, these are small in comparison to like Mount McKinley. I wish I had better pictures to show that, but this is our entire drive the whole time, right? We were blown away. Both my chaplain and I were totally blown away by this. Just every minute, more and more breathtaking beauty that we couldn't even comprehend. We couldn't even begin to understand what we were seeing. Okay, I'm back to the chat now. I can finally see what you guys are saying again. The water is very cold. The water is extremely cold. Ridiculous. Why is there black dirt on top from the wind blowing? Was that on? You mean on the what do you call that? The glacier? It is the tallest mountain in North America. You're right. So we win that, but it is still only the third largest mountain in the world. We're only the bronze medal in terms of the entire world in that case. But that's still pretty freaking awesome. That's winning, I would say, in a lot of books. And can't believe we actually saw it. We saw it from a massive distance. You know, we were still a good hour or so away from the park where we were seeing it. And we saw glimpses of it once we were in the park. When you go to Denali, you can drive about 15 miles into the park. And then you have to stop there and go hiking trails and stuff. And by the time we got there, it was again like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we needed to get back because I had volunteered to play drums for the Protestant worship service at the base chapel, the Protestant base chapel. Actually, it's kind of a multi-faith chapel. They could set up for multiple different types of faiths to provide for their ability to practice their religious traditions. So chaplaincy is kind of cool because we make sure everybody has the opportunity to engage in their First Amendment rights if they're in the military. It's what we try to do, them and their families. So yeah, you're right, Yukon. The glaciers pick up a lot of dirt over time. It's kind of crazy. They get pretty dirty, but they're also like very blue. There's a lot of blue in the midst of that ice, which kind of threw me. I wasn't expecting that. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So what was I saying? We didn't have a lot of time because I wanted to get back and play drums that I, volunteered to do and help. That's kind of what I do, and that's some of the video that's coming to y'all. We're gonna get that rocking. Glacier Lake is blue too. Something to do with the sediment in the ice. You know what? That makes sense. When we were down there, and I know I've got one of the pictures of it somewhere in here. There was like mud. Okay, so the glacier that we touched, we had to walk up into the glacial stream a bit, and it was really, really shallow in some of these spots, just trailing through rocks and different things like that. It was kind of a path that had carved out, but there was lots of trail area to walk around it and get up to where the glacier was at. But at other times in the year when the snow is deposited a lot more, like before the spring hits, basically, like in the I don't know, March or April time frame, glacier's a lot bigger, and it takes over a lot bigger area where the snow is at and ice is at. So when it's receded in the late summer time frame, then there's a lot of mud left behind, and it's probably the grayest mud, almost light bluish mud I've ever seen. And I'll bet you that's what you're talking about, Yukon. Yeah, it's really, really, really cool. I just couldn't believe what we were seeing. And I think one of the other aspects of what made that awesome was that to be able to get to it, we had to do some things that were very risky. I mean, we had to be very on our toes. Like that video I showed you where I'm walking the trail, like super narrow. And you guys are cracking me up, best dirt. Yeah, there were moments where I was like, not only concerned about the height we were at with the minimal margin for error in terms of trail width, but there were areas where the grasses surrounding areas of the trail, the parts that we were walking on, there could have been all kinds of creatures waiting in there for all we knew. And so each step is like potential death, as far as you know. But it's worth it to behold that beauty. It's worth it to go through hardship of getting up one of the most ridiculous trails and getting through areas that you're kind of vulnerable in to behold that. And for me, it's almost like I see just a glimpse of where that beauty came from, at least from my perspective. I know not everybody out there is of a Judeo-Christian biblical perspective in their worldview, and that's fine. I am. I'm unashamedly willing to talk about that. But that's how I perceive that. And so for me, in my experience, it's just amazing to see this structure that's put here at this point, this mountain, right? And this glacial ice, massive amount of ice that sustains even through the summertime because it's so massive. And probably not a lot of people that are willing to climb that type of trail to get to that point and see it from that perspective. But we did that, and we were just awestruck by how incredible it was. We'd never seen anything of that magnitude before. So the thought I took away from that was that it's my responsibility to share that with as many people as we can. So I saw a little bit of what Owen was talking about. Owen was talking earlier this week about Will Smith and some of the business there between him and his son. And that was like almost like massively infuriating to me for the sake of Jaden. You know, I'm like, even if that's remotely true, you know, it's like, I guarantee that's like not even scratching the surface on how much of that stuff goes on within the Hollywood sphere. You're absolutely right, Yukon. Hey, Debbie, or Yukon, are you heading out? Or is Debbie heading out? Oh, Debbie is. I missed that one. Debbie, thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate that. So glad to have you all here tonight. So yeah, cool. Feel free to check out the rest of this later. Okay, so I'm glad to, Shade. I'm glad I could. Yeah, Debbie, enjoy. You guys have fun at the store. Going through all of that and seeing that, I felt like, let me backtrack a second. Hearing Owen talk about those types of things, like with Smith and with other, you know, ridiculous creeps in Hollywood or other insane stuff that goes on in the world, and thinking about how Peterson and Owen recommended the reading of the Gulag Archipelago, you know, and other such books, so we can remember the atrocities of our recent history. You know, it's been atrocities throughout history. My wife and I have been going through various books of the Old Testament throughout the Scripture, but we've kind of been backtracking because generally a Christian's literacy in the Bible is a lot lighter in the Old Testament. We know our New Testament's better than we do the Old, and that's a shame because it hasn't always been that way. In fact, Governor William Bradford, one of the first political leaders here in America, before it was even America, that guy was fluent in Hebrew and read his Bible regularly in Hebrew. Fred Rogers used to read his Bible frequently in Hebrew and Greek. And he was a Presbyterian ordained minister. You know, he had that background, so he knew what was going on. But he knew the value of being able to do that, and it took you out of your perceptional safe zone and put you into the seat of understanding these texts, these ancient texts, from the perspective of the people who penned it in the first place, right? You know, Mayor, you can get it on YouTube. Give me 1 second. I got you. Because I've been listening to it on YouTube, and it's helped. Maybe you're more of a reader, and you like to physically see it. If that's the case, rock on. Do your thing. I encourage you in that. Yeah. Why is it spiraling on here? It shouldn't be doing that. Are you guys seeing me fine? Yeah, I'm coming in fine. I don't know why it does that. All right. YouTube. I need to pull up an extra YouTube window. I can't overload this thing because it's a hotel and everybody's using the Wi-Fi. The Gulag Archipelago. Okay, so here's number one. We're gonna get that squared for you. Get you a link. Here, there you go. Hey, that's enough of that. Okay, you don't need to play it right now. Pause. Not trying to listen to you. Okay. Fudge. Where'd the chat go? All right, chat, come here. So, Mayor, if you wanna listen, you can just do that. And that's only section 1 of 7, and it's a 3-volume book, right? Solzhenitsyn wrote that in 3 volumes, so it does 3 volumes across 3 11+ hour long video files on YouTube. Yeah, no kidding. You're absolutely right, Yukon, and that's something I was going to get at. So I'm encouraged to dig into all the atrocities, all the horrors of humanity, because it's important to not only not forget them, but to understand how they occurred and how I cannot participate in stuff like that in the future, right? That's incredibly massive. Now, as I said it in the description here, as much as Solzhenitsyn, and I probably spelled his name wrong, I need to fix that later. Yeah, Solzhenitsyn. Wait a minute, come back here. Yeah, I did that massively wrong, but that's okay. I did it best I knew how. I said Solzhenitsyn. Spelled it like it sounds. That's funny. So I'll have to remember to fix that before we're done. Because you want to do it right. You want to try to do your best. Anyway, back to where's that chat window so I can see what y'all are talking about. So, come back. Yeah, King James. I like doing that. I usually like to use the King James, even in the Old English, because I've gotten so used to the Old English words, they just don't bother me. Or I use something that's got a strong concordance reference, and then I look up a word, but I look it up in multiple different resources. So I don't just get the Strong's definition. I go back to the pictographic letters and understand letter upon letter how a word meaning was built. And I see cognates of that word, not just the word, how it's used in different places, but cognates of the same word. When I shift one letter, the rest of the letters are the same, but you change one letter, it's a related meaning word. That kind of stuff to kind of get a fuller understanding of how that word's being used. And there's other subtleties about Hebrew that make it interesting. So, did Shakespeare write Beowulf? I've heard that. I don't know. Interesting though. So where was I? Because I'm allowing myself to get squirreled quite well, and you guys are champion squirrelers, even without Dom here. Love y'all. So funny. All right, so with all the crazy insanity, that I think it's massively important for us to ingest a little bit so that we remember why freedoms are so important, why this country that we have is so vital to the existence of humanity. And what we have to do to keep it that way. I think it's also vitally important for our survival to ingest beauty, to ingest things that, by ingest I mean, of course, like see it and hear it and experience it, because it's soul food, right? Beautiful things are soul food. Listening to music, reading great, harrowing books that just uplift your spirit. You need to be infused with that just as much to balance out the insanity, right? To balance out the crazy stuff that you have to take in. Now, we have the opportunity to do that. Guys like Solzhenitsyn probably didn't to the nearest, even a fraction of the degree that we do. We have the world at our fingertips through social media, and we have tons of true positivity to take in. So that's why I love that Owen not only shares with us dark, insane stuff, but he also shares with us, and it's true, that's the best part, but he shares with us true humor, right? True stuff to make us laugh. He shares with us moments of him being a dad, being a husband. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful stuff. I'm so grateful for things like that. That's why I share with you guys when I'm out playing a gig and I'm making music with people. I'm learning to be a better communicator through that. I'm learning to be a better servant. How can I serve the music? How can I serve the other musicians better? And that's beauty, you know, people working to become more serving humans, more communicative humans, right? To try and live at peace with all men, and not just at peace, but deeply love the people that we're around. So let me double check some chats here for a moment. Okay, bear with. Might have been some kind of attitude. My favorite Bible is the Living Bible. It is a useful tool. It has got some interesting stuff. The way, yep. The analogy stuff. And like I was saying before, Shade, that stuff can be confusing at first. The more I've been exposed to it, the more I don't even hear it anymore. I'm just like, I know what it means. It's like my brain, you know how they say when you learn another language and you deeply know it, it's almost like you can begin to think in that other language at times. It's almost like I can think in the language of the KJV and just automatically translate in my head. Like, I know what they mean. I get the tenor of it. It's just the more you're around it. But you got to go with what you're comfortable with. And then always understand that that's an attempt, some attempt at one level or another. Because the King James has plenty of errors. The nice thing about it is that the errors are well documented, right? The difficulties in translation are well known by this point because it's over 400 years old. So it's a great resource for study, right? The other ones can be very readable, but always read multiple versions because they inform you. Like different translating teams had different perspectives and different motivations in doing what they're doing. What's up? What's up, my buddy Molly hanging out there? She's just messing with me. I can say just your first name. It's not like I'm giving your address out and where they can find you. All right, I'll call her Agent M over there. That's who that was. Let's see here. So I got distracted. Marble pillars and gardens are food for my soul. There you go. Take that in, Andrew. Absolutely. You feed your body so you will become strong with duty and wisdom. Or there. I mean, the King James sings and everything else sounds sterile. I hear you on that. Blankly translation of the Tao Te Ching. All others pale in comparison. And great piano music. Great piano music is good. Go get some Fats Waller, or even better, some Art Tatum if you want jazz, or even classical. Art Tatum was a monster in both. Art Tatum was blind and learned to read sheet music in Braille. Learned to read Braille music, right? And he could play classical insanely well. He could play jazz instinctively insanely well. In fact, he was such a great piano player. He would go in the studio and they just turn the machines on for like 2 hours and let him go. And then they'd cut what he did into separate bits and make a record out of it. This is like one of the originators. You get 10 different football fans in a room and ask them who's the best quarterback in the NFL, you're going to probably get 10 different answers, right? Everybody's got a different opinion. But you ask 10 jazz aficionados who's the best jazz pianist in history, I guarantee like all of them are going to say Art Tatum, or darn near all of them, if they know what they're talking about. But yeah, there's some great piano stuff you can get into if you don't know about that, Yukon Bear. KJV, my study Bible is KJV. Lots of side notes. Absolutely, Yukon. It's best for me because I'm a nuts and bolts type of learner. Very cool. Very cool. I like that, Shane. Logical. Docs Molly. Oh man, Shane, no, you're doing great. You're smart. You're taking it a step at a time, as you should. Just dig in however you're able to do it, and always assume that you don't know everything and that there's always more to learn, which I figure you do. I figure Andrew, he didn't have to read the Braille while playing, like he would go over it prior to and just have to memorize the tunes, right? But he learned to read the music in Braille. Maybe he did, like that. Maybe he was, but two-handed stuff you're not going to be able to do that with. So he probably had to do it beforehand, read it through in Braille first, and then memorize the stuff, right? When I read, I have to take out all adjectives. The big house. I have to skip over the big in sentences. It's interesting, Shade. gum in the gears. Huh. I didn't realize that. Both hands. One hand on the braille, maybe. He used his forehead. I can see that. I can see Art Tatum, you know. It's maybe if he ever did. I never saw a video of Art Tatum playing. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But I'm pretty sure he didn't do that. But maybe if there was some weird world where that did happen, right? Like, you know, and I hate to use a Tarantino reference, but this is appropriate right now. I remember going and seeing Inglourious Bastards was a Quentin Tarantino film that he'd done. He remade it, I guess, because there was an original one years ago, a long time ago, but he made his version. And then I saw that years ago with some buddies of mine. And one of my buddies, Kung Fu Drew, he was so funny. He was like, wouldn't it be awesome if, like, that's how it happened? Like, you go to history class and, like, that's an actual documentary of what went on. He was just so funny. I love Drew. He's too hilarious. But, like, now I'm thinking of Andrew's suggestion, Andrew's suggestion about Art Tatum reading Braille with his forehead. Like, that's how it happened, right? And so maybe that's where Stevie Wonder got inspired for his head movements. It's like mirroring Art Tatum's reading in Braille with his forehead, you know? That's what that could be. If it really happened that way, right? For art. No disrespect to either. It's humor. We just love it. Smashes the dots in, right? You can't read it now. Yes, thank you, Yukon. Absolutely. This is so awesome. I love hanging out with you guys. It's always hilarious. Oh my goodness. So yeah, this is a good evening. Have we gotten more people and I didn't see who came in? Who else came in here? Who else is up in here right now? I see Andrew, Yukon, Shade, and Andrew, Yukon, Shade, and Mayor. Andrew, Yukon, Shade, Mayor. That's about all I see. We got other people lurking in here. Who's all lurking up in here? Come on and chat in with us. We're not gonna bite. We're nice people. It's all right. Harold, you come back yet, man? I wonder if Scott's watching and he's not logged in. But I'd love for you guys to pop in here. Be super cool. Fred's here. You're lurking, Fred. I knew it. I knew it was Fred. I didn't know it was Fred. I'm just teasing. But you're welcome to lurk. I lurk in Owen's stream sometimes because I'm doing something else where I just don't have anything useful to add to the conversation at that point in time. I'll lurk in Steve's streams, Pinder streams, because again, same reasons. Got stuff I'm doing. Where'd my chat window go? Come back. Okay, here we go. Give me the idea for the record, using his finger as a pen and playing the piano. The Lurkmeister looking it all down. Guys, it's so funny, man. Oh, this is what makes these streams the best. Oh my goodness. Well, it is 11 o'clock Central Time now, and it's probably midnight if you're in the East Coast. I think that's how those time zones work. Let's see here. It popped up my phone as I was about to hit the sack. Nice. Well, shoot, I set this to go like earlier today. I programmed this in here. It should have given you guys notifications way long time ago. Okay, quick show of hands or ones. Give me a 1 if you got a notification for this stream sometime during the day today. And maybe your 1 plus about what time, you know, what time zone, what time of day you got. Let's say how many hours ago you got the stream notification before it started, it said. Shade, you got a notification. All right. And was it like right before, like a half an hour before, or what was the deal? I'm just kind of curious about that and seeing some statistics on that. Because if Fred, you just got it now, well, that's not cool. Oh, you don't have a bell on, so I hear you. Not everybody has a bell. You got a 30-minute. Okay, Shade, great. That's appropriate. I know I was chatting in here a little bit, more than 30 minutes prior. Okay, Andrew, you were early. Right on. You found me in the Unbearables? That's right, because I was chatting in there for a minute. Right on, right on. No, it's no trouble. You feel free to be late. It's no problem. Hey, you want to catch it all? Great. I'm grateful for whoever's here, and all I ask is bring more people, convert more people. Hashtag not a cult, right? Hashtag none of us are cult. But right on. Oh, you are an EST. Goodness, you're still hanging. Well, I appreciate that, Fred, that you're hanging out. So, but I'll let you feel free to get to bed, and you can watch more of this later. In yesterday here on Long Island. And then yesterday. You're ringing the bell. Oh, dude, you're super cool. It's always good to get bell ringers. I'm a fan of that. All right, so let's finish this up. I'm going to show you a couple other little things that I'm going to put in a montage later, like a video montage or some such. Let me get rid of. I've got like 2 chat buttons. Yes, thank you, Yukon. Appreciate that. Here's what we are going to do. Let's go back in our pictures log. Photos. Let's go to the photos. Yeah. So here's what I wanted to show you. This is what is happening to us. This is what is going on. Okay, so this was a couple nights ago. Here's what the you can see like the Terminator between dark and light, right? And here's me here in Alaska, right there. So you've got this going. This was at 6 a couple nights ago. I'll bet the weather's nice out there, Fred. Absolutely, no doubt. That's where the line is at, all the way over there. It's like it's cutting through. Now here comes the night getting further on. This is 2 a.m. This is 2 a.m. where the light was at. This is the line. So it was over this way, over here. Now it's like over here. So it doesn't even cover 50% at a time. It's more like a 60-40 or a 65-35 light dark difference, right? That's how that works out. I'm sure there's somebody who's got the math on that. Here's 4 a.m. This is about where the light was at the other night. So we're just right on the line, right? And this is 4 in the morning. So it's totally not dark here, even at 4 a.m. Here's 7 a.m., right? This is about where it's at now, right? So we're never in the dark. We're never actually in the dark at all. It's still some degree of twilight or something. It's just ridiculous. You know it, right? That's what's flipping going on for me. So interesting. Oh, and I thought I'd share one other useful piece of information. Let's see here. See if I can. I might not be able to, but I'm sure going to try. No, that's not what I was going to share. Let's see here. So, if you have the opportunity, go see beauty and share it with other people that may not have had the chance to see beauty. Because as much crud and craziness as we experience, we've got to get filled up with things that encourage us, that lift us up. And maybe you having an experience that brightened your day, just sharing it, being willing to share it with somebody in a way that might be meaningful to them, who can tell what kind of a difference that's going to make for them, right? Just the smallest little bit. That's about all I know how to do sometimes, you know? Maybe sharing my musical abilities in some way allows for somebody to navigate their day just the littlest bit better than they would have otherwise. So that's why I do what I do. That's why I come on and do this stuff, because I know that I've had some very unpleasant times in my life, and I'm sure that plenty of people have way worse times than me. So how can I not share moments that I don't even feel like I deserve, you know, at all? And I don't. It's not even just like a feel. Like, I legit don't deserve some of the amazingness that I've got. I'll show you this. This happened to me some time ago. My wife, now wife, she convinced me that it would be a good idea to do what I'm getting ready to show you here. She said, Aaron, you should totally, oh no, tell me it's not in the phone. That's not a place I want this to be. No. Well, I might just have to show you the picture because the picture's pretty funny. I was going to show you the video, and I think I locked it in my phone somewhere, and I don't know if I can ever get it out. But I'd sure like to get it out because it doesn't belong in there. I meant to copy it into the phone, not move it completely. So 2013, my beautiful lady had done this stuff a number of times in her youth, and she said, I'm going to hook you up. I want you to do this, and I will make sure there's pictures and video taken of it while we're doing it. So we went up near Chicago, it's a little south of there, and got trained up, got suited up, got hitched up, and ready to jump on out the window. Hey, Debbie. So, that's an experience. And it was the beholding of some of the most amazing beauty I'd ever seen. I'm at about 13,000 feet right there. Hey, Cap's in here. Cap, I gotta, hang on. This user in timeout. I want to hook him up. I want to give him admin rights. What's going on here? Okay, let me real quickly attend to something that must happen because Captain Cutler should have a wrench. You got a timeout. You'll deny all wrenches. Well, you just got one, buddy. You are now a wrench. You're only not mine because I didn't see you come in. Everybody's a mod here. Everybody's a mod here. Until you go crazy. Until people go insane. When everybody else has one, I think it's all right. Until it gets to a point where I can't keep up with that. And that'll happen one day. And then I'll have a wrenching of my own. And I'll make it as funny as I can. But I'm hoping that's far enough in the future. But if you want to see hilarity, if you want to see me like break a cymbal or a drum head in response to a wrenching, and maybe I'll create a whole drum solo based around wrenchings. We got to grow the channel, right? We got to get to like, the goal is like 100, and then from there we go to 5, and from there we're shooting for 1,000, and so on, right? And it's all about you guys sharing the word. And by the way, share the link for my t-shirt. You don't have to buy it, just share it with other people that you think would enjoy that. You know, if you can, great, I appreciate it. But if you're not in the market, don't feel obliged. Feel obliged, if nothing else, to share the link. And share the link of the channel. That's what I love. Look at y'all chatting away over here. I love it. All right. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. Let's, that's the idea. See, we're all on the same playing field. All right. So this is what I experienced. Oh, goodness, my guts. All right. I am steady in time, at steady in time on Twitter, Shade. And eventually I'll have a big drum bear Twitter. I haven't set it up yet. I like it that way. You know, I figure it doesn't get stupid as long as everybody's modding and they just say what they want to say. That's the main one I tend to use. Let's see. So this is good for you, Debbie. It's probably appropriate. Well, I kind of like it that way. You know, I'll keep going that direction. You know, unless someone doesn't deserve it, unless someone like abuses that privilege. Yeah, Dom is a squirrel. He's forever a squirrel, and he knows it. And I just have he's training me. He's training me not to be as squirrelable, and I'm grateful for that. So here I'm swimming in the air. They're trying to get me to swim. Yeah, I was trying to do that. I was pinching my nose and doing that, but not in this picture. But yeah, the cheek flap thing got so weird. It was so flippin' hilarious. Let's see here. Yeah, there I'm checking my altimeter. right, to see how low we're at. And then when we get to a certain point, yeah, I love Dom. I love that man. He's too funny. He's one of my first folks. Secret squirrels. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. So right about here, I'm thinking, oh, it's time. I got to pull that cord because once you get to 6,500 feet, you're supposed to pull it. Although I have plenty of a margin for error. You know, I could have gone a lot more. And here he's like, peace, you know, because he's reaching for it. You can see my hand going for the cord somewhere back over here. Like he taught me. But what I forgot to do was wave off, right? I reached out, it's already going. He just pointed at the guy and he'd waved us off. It's like, tell the camera guy, get back a little bit because we're about to open canopy. We're about to let that thing go. So I screwed up my first jump by not doing it exactly like he taught me. Okay, I'm pulling my cord and I'm looking at my telemeter and here's these cords coming out. And then wedgie of a lifetime. Ouch, just vein right in here. It's not fun. Should have worn thicker jeans. Yeah, that's essentially what happens. A massive amount of upward thrust. It's just super drag shoot because you're traveling pretty quick, about 120, 130 miles an hour, and we're not really going up. We're just slowing the fudge down. He's the camera guy continues to fall. So yeah, and you can see it's hiking my pants up. It's like it's going strong. Let's see, and then, yep, canopy. He catches us flying on in. Here we come landing, got our feet stretched straight out, and we're trying to yank down on the brakes to slow our descent. And I slide in nice and easy. Not quite. Let's see. I don't have that button that just lets me slide to the next picture. Is it this one? And I missed it? I guess that's the last one that I had. I don't know why it's out of order. Or maybe it was this. Nope. Or maybe it was this. That's probably the one. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Slide in right on your butt. Perfect. That's how you finish. It'd been way better to share the video, but yeah, I'm gonna have to do it again, man. Yeah, it's insane. People are. I mean, that guy had close to 10,000 jumps in his career. You know. So there's the founder of the skydive, my beautiful lady bear. This is when we were still engaged, and I wasn't as fat. Look at that face. It's like, whoa. I only have slightly a chin and a half. How about that? I make fun, you know, because it keeps me humble. It's a good thing. Stuck in the airfield if you're jumping that much. No kidding. Yeah, it could potentially result in your untimely demise. And they tell you that. They're like, look, here's the honest truth. You could die doing this. This could be it. People have died. But you don't necessarily have to. I mean, they use a main chute, right, that I deployed there. They have a reserve chute that's packed in there as well. And then they have a computer system that senses altitude. And when it reaches this particular altitude, let's say you and your instructor go unconscious during free fall, right? This computer system will automatically just correctly deploy your chute for you. It will automatically, with pyrotechnics, deploy your chute. And you're gonna land one way or another. You're gonna get down. And the only danger then is, are you steering properly to make sure you don't go somewhere you shouldn't go? So yeah, there's dangers. There's dangers. People die. But most of the instructors there have had well over 10,000 jumps. You know, you get people getting into the high thousands of jumps or the 5 digits worth. So I'd say it's worth it. It was a good time. It was an amazing experience. I'd do it again. But you're praying a mile a minute. I was all the way to the door. Wish I had that video handy, but I've got to figure out how to get it back. At any rate, Yeah, yeah, it's true. What was that bit from The Hobbit that Frodo said to Bilbo, or Bilbo said to Frodo? It's like, it's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your door. Right? Never know what could kick your butt. And so don't worry too much. Don't be an idiot, but don't worry too much. Enjoy the beauty. There's so much beauty out there to see. There's so much beauty right in front of your face every day. Make it a point to notice it. And when you see something that's just incredibly wonderful, share it. Share it with people and uplift them. You don't even know like what kind of day somebody might be having where just some little thing that made you smile can make them smile. That you, if you share it with the true, honest exuberance that you would have, and how awesome that thing was for you. So it's how we'll mitigate the suffering that we all experience in some way or another. At any rate, I've been jabbering for well over an hour now, so I'll let you all have a great night. Thanks for coming out so much. Share links. I love that. I'm real grateful for that. Tell folks to smash like buttons and all that jazz. And I'm going to shoot for morning again if I can. I'm going to try and preset an episode tonight. So if I can get up and do a morning episode, I will. Otherwise, it's going to be at this time again. So, but I'll shoot for morning because I'd like to. I've got some other things I probably have to do in the evening. So look for it around 8 a.m. if you're up. If not, I'll catch you eventually, and we'll get back to normal, regular times once I get back to Illinois. So, Peace Bears, engage your mind, engage your body, and engage your heart. Seek to serve the ultimate purpose. That's my closing thought. That's my motto for you. Love you, Bears. Pieces to all of you. It's getting crazy.